Hey, welcome to Too Many Gadgets. Today I'm talking about this Android TV stick from Xiaomi. So the whole Android TV box space is really one that's moving quite fast at these days, and it's moving into a lot of houses that didn't in the past have these type of devices. But more and more are cutting their usual TV providers and getting into using only web-based streaming services and stuff like that. And if you are in that space, these type of Android TV sticks or boxes are of interest to you. I did a review back 6 months ago of the Mi 4KS TV box and is quite happy with that, and it's still part of my my streaming device sort of ensemble. And so I was quite interested when Xiaomi told me that they were coming out with this smaller form factor with the stick version. So I'm going to do a review of this. For those of you already familiar with Android TV, you might want to skip this video. Will be part into chapters, so you should be able to see in the play bar the chapters of the other chapters that I'm doing, so you are not going through the whole setup and how Android TV works. If you aren't familiar with that, just don't do nothing and just just let me take you through the whole process. But let's have a look at this device. The TV stick measures just below 10 centimeters and weighs only 28 grams. It has a quad-core processor running up to 1.2 GHz and has 1 GB of RAM. You get a Bluetooth remote control with voice search capabilities and an external power brick and a micro USB cable to power the device. To install this device, you need to plug it into an available HDMI slot, and the second part of the install process is to figure out if the TV that you are installing this into has a USB outlet that has sufficient power to power this device, or if you need to use the external power brick. So in my instance, one of my devices that I tested it on did not have sufficient power, the other one did. So again, just try it out, and if it doesn't work, try to power it using the external power brick. After that, you can go through the Android TV install process, which I will show you now. First part of the install process is to pair the remote control with the stick, and you do that by holding the two buttons down at the same time. You then select your region and language, and after that, if you have an Android telephone, this will be much faster, but else you need to connect it to your Wi-Fi and then your Google account. But this is where some of my problems started to happen, because I had really big troubles getting internet connection with my TV stick. So it was connected to my network, but no internet access. And yeah, I didn't really get that and tried some of my other Wi-Fi points, but pretty much with the same result. So I started rebooting the device and tried moving it to another HDMI port that was sort of a little bit further out on the TV, so it had, in my mind, better chance of getting a better Wi-Fi connection point. And lo and behold, all of a sudden there was a connection, and I was prompted to update the device, which I did, and that sort of seemed to also improve on the network issues that I saw. After that, I could pair the device with my Google account, and then I was up and running. Android TV is pretty intuitive with these tiles organized in different ribbons, which give you easy access to your favorite content and apps. You have the Google Play Store, which is pretty similar to what you find for the mobile version, but some apps are not in the Android TV part of the Google Play Store. You have access to both game and streaming apps, and one honorable mention could be Kodi, which is a perfect app if you have a NAS with your own media that you want to make use of. You can customize the tiles with moving the tiles around and adding new ones if you want to, which makes it easy to set up the UI just to match what your preference is. You can also adjust these lines by moving them around, so the ones you use the most are in the top section of the screen. You have the option here to see the max resolution, which is 1080p. And one also important feature of this TV stick is that it has a built-in Chromecast, which is perfectly handy if you want to stream from your favorite apps. This is just to give you an example of loading times and also buffering times, which seems fine running from Netflix if you get a good Wi-Fi connection. So no problems here. And this next clip is a 4K YouTube clip, which also, again, it's shown in 1080p, but yeah, it shows up fine, and the loading times were just fine again. I think it makes sense to talk about the difference between this, the Mi TV stick, and the 4K box that Xiaomi also has on their Android TV lineup. And the obvious difference being that this is a 1080p device and the other device can support up to 4K material. So if you have the need for 4K material on your TV, and you also have services that will give you that resolution, then this is not the device for you. You should go in the 4K box direction. But if you need something slick, that's very neat and can be fitted on the backside of a TV without a box externally hanging down somewhere, this could be your choice. The processor on this is not as powerful as with the 4K box that Xiaomi has. For streaming services, Netflix, stuff like that, Kodi, you should be good. Some of the games that you can also play on Android TV using an Xbox controller, stuff like that, will also work with this. But the more demanding games, you are better off with some of the other powerful Android TV devices than this one, because again, both the GPU and the CPU on this is less powerful than what you will find in the other boxes that Xiaomi has. And again, it gives itself with the form factor that there are some cuts to be made here in order to make this possible. Price, of course, being the last obvious difference, with this costing pretty much half of what the 4K box costs. So it is quite impressive that you can get all of this for only $35. That price is from AliExpress, and I'll leave a link in the description field. If you want to buy this from Amazon, you'll have to pay a little bit more. The last price I could get was $45, but not including shipping. I'll leave again links in the description field. This is a cool little device, and again, it works. It doesn't work on all of my devices. And what seems to be the difference where it works well and where it has some problems is one of my TVs hangs directly on the wall, and this device, the way the HDMI was placed on that particular TV was very sort of in the center of the TV. So this little stick was sort of directly behind the TV, and with a lot of TV sort of covering it. So it seemed to have problems getting a stable Wi-Fi connection in that scenario, and thus there was a lot of stuttering, and buffering time was noticeably longer than when I tried it on some of my other devices, where it had sort of more room around it and not that much TV to block it. So if you are planning to use your Android TV on a wall-hanged TV, like mine, you should perhaps reconsider if this is the right device for you, and maybe go with one of the TV boxes that are not directly plugged into the TV but uses an HDMI cable to do so that the box has better Wi-Fi reception than what you could be with this one. It works out fine. Again, Android gaming, I would probably not recommend with this. It will do some of the games, but some of them will have problems again because the CPU is not that powerful. So where I think this really shines perhaps is more if you are a lot on the go and you want to take your TV experience with you. So you have this and you can just plug it into the hotel's TV and easily, have all your apps with all your password and settings and all that with you, even though you are away from home. Because again, this doesn't take up much space and it's easy to plug into a HDMI port. So yeah, if you are traveling a lot, this could be perhaps a good device for you. Also, if you are on a really tight budget and only watch 1080p material, this could also be for you. But if you just have the slightest idea or dream that you are going to watch 4K material, which Netflix and some of the other streaming services support now, This is perhaps too much of a budget solution, so perhaps spend a little bit more and get the 4K box that will have more power and again 4K support, and you won't run into some of the troubles that I've been seeing about Wi-Fi reception if you are gonna hang it on a wall-mounted TV. So that was pretty much my input on this. Hope you found it useful. I'll be glad to hear your comments if you have bought this and have had other experiences than what I'm describing, so that others can learn from you guys. See you guys in another video. Bye.